Ray, thank you so much for coming in, mate. Your time and my God, the drive to come up and be part of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. The drive doesn't bother me. I mean, you two are around WA. You know what distance is.
I do, yes,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
not everyone is as open to driving distances these days.
Yeah, I love it. I love, like, I would typically do 30 to 40,000 kilometres on the road every year.
Yeah, wow.
Touring. So
Getting around.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful state. It's easy to do.
Oh, yeah. Even if it's desolate, I don't mind.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Now, award-winning country music artist, prolific tourer, singer-songwriter, Ray Jones. You first of all, I'd love to start with the Country Music Awards, right? Like male artist of the year.
Yeah.
What an award to win! How did it sit with you?
I got to be honest with you, and even those guys said it. They said we've never seen somebody so shocked when we said your name, because my wife was down in the crowd. She didn't even have her phone out because I was up against, Brandon Paletti, another guy I can't think of his name, but a really, a credentialed guy, both young guys, and here's me. And I just thought, no, like there's, I'm here to make up the numbers,
Yeah, right.
And then they said my name, and it was hard to, it was a massive surprise and joy, and being recognised by the industry and your peers and everything is, I can't quantify that, like how big it was for me to be accepted,
Yeah, right.
and at the same time, a little bit of disbelief. There's a million emotions that go with that.
Yeah, it must be.
And a lot of pride. Ultimately, when the dust settled, it was like, and I took it and I ran with it. For a whole year, I ran really hard with touring and promoting the fact for WA Music and for the WA Country Music Awards that, I really put it out there that, hey, I've won this award and I'm really proud of it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you notice tangible differences in either the gigs, crowd reactions, opportunities that opened up, gigging post-award as opposed to prior?
Absolutely. I had a message that night from Tamworth.
Really?
From a promoter in Tamworth to say, I expect we'll see you next year in Tamworth.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So, yeah, and it did. It opened doors in many, many ways. That particular year, and this is an absolute truth, I never chased another gig. They all came to me. Yeah. So,
wow.
So it was a cool year.
Yeah, it would have been.
A busy year.
Yeah. Your songwriting has an amazing imagery, and I feel very transported. Some of the places you sing about, particularly in the Southwest, and there's a rawness to that. There must be a sense of vulnerability. Like at some point, did it feel like a hurdle you had to overcome to break that barrier and be that honest?
Yeah, absolutely. Like with my first album, Sleeping Rough, there was a lot of that album evolved out of an accident. Really, I'd recorded an EP with Bill Chambers over in Sydney, and he blew up a hard drive which had everything on it. So they flew me back, 3 months later. But by that time, I'd written a whole album.
Yeah, wow.
So we went, well, let's just do the album. And there was a lot of unloading and unpackaging of tough family stuff for me and my past, and that sort of thing. And so I had to learn to deal with how raw that was. Like when we did the first launch night, Bill flew over and we did the first launch night, and we're playing this song, which is about the demise of my family home. And half of the crowd, we're my family anyway. And we start playing this song, and we're a verse in, and there's people walking out the door.
Yeah,
and he sort of looked at me, and we're sitting side by side, and he's like, "What's going on?" And I said, "It's all family. Like it's just too hard for them. They're outside crying, man.
Yeah,
Keep playing." I had to learn to detach from that. You got to learn to be real, be honest, and deliver it. But at the same time, you've got to keep a part of yourself a little bit detached. Otherwise, you're putting yourself through torture night after night.
Yeah. But and sometimes I think the point of a song though is to instill an emotion, surely, and it can't always just be a bed of roses, right?
No.
So in some ways, mission accomplished.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've had people. There's a song on that first album that deals directly with domestic violence.
Yeah, okay.
And a lady that helped me with all of my IT stuff in the very beginning, it's her story. She made the mistake of telling me one day over a coffee her early marriage and how bad it was and all that.
Wow.
I had a new old guitar, an old Hofner that I'd bought the day before. And after she'd left, I sat down with this guitar and the first chord, and I played the second chord, and I wrote her story.
Yeah, wow.
And then I recorded it on a phone, sent it to her, and I said, get your tissues out and just pull over, because she was driving back to Karratha. And she messaged me and she goes, oh, my God, you know. And her husband now, he couldn't listen to the song for years because I wrote her words. I wrote the things that, you know, he leans in real close and they won't believe you what you say. The next one's going to hurt, you know, and all that sort of stuff. It's just pure rawness. And it's so raw that I don't play it live anymore. I had women coming up hugging me and saying, thanks for writing that, but it got too hard.
Yeah.
So there's a line, there's a balance. I'm trying to err on the more happy side these days.
Yeah. But yeah, you can't always do that. But like that's stuff like that can be really heavy to burden you with as well, right? That's heavy to hear from someone at the coalface, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes songs can be a way for you to kind of, I guess, share that burden of that story.
Yeah, and you can unburden. Like for me, writing that first album was really cathartic, and I didn't realise until it was done and it was unpackaged and we were listening to it, and I'm like, I feel better about all of this now. Like it's not baggage I have to carry anymore. I've given it away. You know?
Yeah.
Which was cool, and I find now that if I do have to write something that's a bit heavy, which I don't do much of, I'm very much these days, I write for the future. I write for my kids, my grandkids, people that I will never know. I write time capsules for them. You know, I've got a song, I Have Home. A lot of this album, there's stuff on there. I've got a few songs that are just time capsules. So long after I'm gone, they can go, I get what he was on about.
I felt like Diesel. Is it Diesel Engine?
Diesel Engine,
Diesel Engine. Like, I was like, what a concept of like going from steam to diesel, you know, like, and like what's kind of happening at the time and things that, like, I've never had to think about that. But like you said, like a time capsule, like to transport you back.
Well, that was a time capsule. You know, my grandfather was a steam engine driver, Norman Aubrey, and I had a memory of a letter, a poetic letter that he'd written to the railways and at his funeral. And so years and years later, I'm songwriting and I was thinking about him, and I managed to get a copy of it off a cousin, and I was writing with Bill Chambers a bit, you know, and I said to him, I've got this idea, I want to write my grandfather's story, and I've got this letter. So I sent him a copy, and he was in Africa, and we were just voice memoing backwards and forwards. And over a period of a few days, we wrote Diesel Engines, and it's a true and accurate version of his plea to the railways. Like, I drive steam engines. I don't want to drive diesel engines. And ironically, we called it Diesel Engines, but it's about his love of steam and wanting to stay in steam. Yeah,
wow.
And you know, weirdly enough, a year or so ago, I was playing a little gig at a resorty place somewhere. This guy, I played the song. This old guy gets up out of his chair, walks straight over and says, "Who are you?" to Norman Aubrey. And I said, "He's my grandfather." He said, "I was a little boy running around the rail yards, you know, wanting to help him and everything. I knew your grandfather, and like the song, I know what this is about."
Far out.
So you get these wild things that come from song, you know.
Yeah. Unreal. And so one thing that I've loved about your songs, they have incredible depth to the arrangements, right? Like I kind of feel like, you know, sometimes country songs can be, what do they say, like 4 chords in the truth or 3 chords in the truth or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
But you write, it kind of took me to the Eagles, right? Like, and like amazing placement of instruments at certain times and stuff like that. And we've been chatting before about, you've had some, I think Backroads, your latest one?
Yeah.
Like, you've had some really big name players come in and help put that release out there. What was it like working with some of these, I don't know, amazing guys? And did you ever did they ever have input that didn't resonate?
No. One of the things that I love with working with Bill, and we wouldn't be sitting here today if it wasn't for Bill Chambers.
Right. Okay.
He knocked on my door. He was coming to WA, wanted to play some shows, needed a PA, wanted someone to open some shows.
Wow.
And 2 nights later, I've got Bill Chambers on my left side and Lucky Oceans on my right, and I'm playing this house concert down south.
Get out.
Just looking around, going, "What the hell is going on?" Friends messaging me, going, "Who are you?" Like that picture, is that Lucky Oceans on your right hand? I'm like, yeah, it is, man. And so Bill, he told me off and said, "You've got to record what you're doing. The world has to hear this." So then we did that. So he gets me. So we've never had a disagreement on arrangement, production, everything. It's kind of this, I don't know, it's an unspoken thing that happens when we get in the studio together, that he understands where I'm headed,
Yep.
what I've imagined. And even this time round, we brought in a band, whereas the first album, it's me and him, 15 vintage guitars and a studio, whereas this time, I went to Tamworth, I played on his show, and a part of that deal was I said, I'll come to Tamworth. He asked me to go, but I want to record an album.
Yeah.
And he went, well, as soon as we're finished in Tamworth, we'll go to my place, we'll make a new album. But we lined up Ali Foster on drums, Jeff McCormack on bass. And Jeff's always mastered my music anyway, so I kind of knew Jeff pretty well. And so for the first 2 days, it was just tracking with those two. And I'd never done that before. And it was amazing. It was just amazing. We put Ali in a booth. It was about 4,000 degrees with no aircon. Jeff was plugged in directly into everything, and then I was just on a guitar and a mic. So I'm playing and singing with them, and we could take it or leave my take or whatever. But we were specifically recording, tracking Ali and Jeff, and just doing their parts. And we would sit down, we'd write the charts really quickly, and then just go for it.
Yeah, wow.
And their process, when you get pros like that can just like 2 or 3 takes. I don't think we ever did 3 takes for them. It was just like, it took us 2 days, but we tracked 14 songs.
Yeah. It's wild, isn't it?
And it was just, Jeff had really good input on a couple of songs where he would go, what if you just put a pause here, if we just hold it for a second and then go again, and stuff like that. And it all worked. There was never oh no, I don't like that or anything like that. It just worked. And then they left us, and Bill and I basically spent time doing my vocals, my guitars, and all that sort of stuff. And then and I played mandolin on there and Weizenborn and all that sort of stuff. And then I left him with it. We just spent a few days deciding what instruments we would put where.
Okay.
Fiddle, because I had imagined all these fiddle parts, dobro parts and all that.
Yeah, wow.
And so I left them with it, and then we had to make a change on the fiddle player, but we got a guy called Mick Allbeck, who in Jeff McCormack's eyes is the best, American-styled country fiddle player that you're going to get in Australia.
Wow.
And we got him. And then I'm chasing someone for female harmonies. I did have a quick chat with Ashley Dallas, but she didn't buy into it. And then I got Felicity Kircher, who had just won Toyota Star Maker.
Yeah.
Bill goes, I can get Felicity. And I'm like, yeah, just do it. And then you'll hear in the harmonies and the stuff, she nailed it. And that whole arrangement thing, I guess, was just an organic process. But some of it was like, I emailed Mick Allbeck. We'd never met before, and I got the tracks that he'd done his fiddle parts on, and it's in particular Strike a Match. I said to him, you would not believe how close you are, basically exactly bang on what I imagined when I wrote this song, and musically what I could hear for the fiddle. You've actually done it without being instructed. And he actually said it nearly moved him to tears hearing that. So, it's a cool process.
Yeah, sounds like it. Yeah, and incredible outcomes. I think is the important part. And speaking of outcomes, so to Backroads, the latest single, first time you've had a song hit like 10K streams on Spotify in the first month.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. Did you do anything different there?
No, not a thing. I've never paid anyone to do anything with Spotify or anything for that matter. I don't believe in any of that. It's either organic or it's not.
Yep.
I believe from my first album, I got enough growth, in particular in the US, from people listening to that album, that it was just a natural, this guy's, I've been listening to him, he's got a new song out.
Yeah, cool.
And my listening audience did grow quite dramatically as well. So the song hit the right algorithms, I guess, and it's that algorithm thing that we fight now, if you want to call it that. I don't even know what we're doing with it really, but it's just there. But it needs to recognise that you're getting streamed and that you're gathering followers and people are saving songs and all that.
Yeah.
And so it climbs. What does that do? Nothing really. We don't make any money out of it.
No.
But I look at it as though the money that it would cost me to aggregate my music around the globe into over 60 countries in a few days, if I had to pay someone to do it, what would that cost me? Oh, yeah. So at least I'm not paying Spotify to do that.
Yeah.
They're doing that for me.
Yeah.
So I see an upside. If there is a silver lining with it, you can get your music heard. I mean, one of the coolest things I saw was when someone was listening to my music in the Ukraine when it all broke out. And, and I thought, because, you can look in and you can see, and I look quite a bit. I'm like, well, if my song is making someone feel better when there's bombs going overhead, then what else? What more do I need?
Yeah. You've touched on geography, and you tour and you gig quite a lot, and I can completely resonate with why. But I'm interested. Like you live in the Southwest.
Yep.
Have you ever felt that it's provided additional challenges to being either city-based or East Coast-based?
Oh, absolutely. Every single day.
Yeah, right.
Every single day. I mean, there's guys on the East Coast, guys and girls on the East Coast that are envious of the amount of like local gigs and that I can play, and that I can get away with playing 3 sets basically of my own music.
Yes.
They can't do that over there. They'll pull the plug. They'll kick them out.
Yeah, right.
So I'm really lucky with that. But I put that sword out in front of me a long time ago and sort of said, I'm playing my songs, and if you don't like it, don't hire me.
Yeah.
Valid. I'll give you a Bob Dylan song, and I'll give you a Tom Petty song, and I'll give you probably 4 covers in a set, but that's all I'm doing.
Yeah.
And it's worked. I've got away with it. People clap for my songs more now than they do for the covers. So something's working right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely a challenge. Musically, it's a challenge because I've got to work with artists on the East Coast. I know there's great artists here too, and studios and all that. But it always seems to be easier for me to make it happen on the East Coast.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't get much work in Perth. I've got a gig coming up next month in Perth at Lyric Underground.
Oh yeah.
With Elias Bartholomew. So
cool.
But I don't even really try and break into the Perth scene.
Yeah.
I'd like to. I'd love to come up here and play some music every now and then. And I've heard that, they're into more solo artists than that these days.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting in, and that's another, I've always said in anything with music, doors rarely open. You've kind of got to kick them down.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, for sure.
So I haven't tried really kicking on the door much, to be honest. But there are certainly challenges. The distance, it's hard to really be known when you're just a guy living in Mile Up. And I deliberately live there to be a bit private too.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you ever feel that because you dominate your niche in the area, right? Do you ever feel like if there is artists coming through that you get to pick that up?
I'm really trying to put my finger on that now. Like I've really taken on this ethos of trying to help other artists and trying to grow our musical family. That's why I was so keen to talk to you, because I think you're doing that, and if as artists we don't start lifting each other up, we've got no hope, because the industry does not care about us. The industry is a whole different machine. But artists, we can look after each other. So I try and help artists that are travelling, coming through, running songwriter nights down in Bunbury now once a month to bring that sort of sense of community in, mentoring, lots of different artists at times, younger artists. I don't know if they always listen, but... trying to help them. I'll give them a leg up, anyone a leg up wherever I can, So, yeah, it's just something I'm trying to work on, and I think we can always do better as a musical community. Yeah.
I have certainly found that once you reach out, I've far as my memory serves me, only ever had positive experiences with other artists once you reach out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't recall a time of really being sort of cut back or cut down from other artists. Right.
No.
No. It can be it's a very cool scene to be part of. As far as the network of musos that you can meet.
I think it becomes the most rewarding thing, whether it's a paid gig or whatever, or whether you get together and you write a song or you have a jam. When you start mixing and blending and not fearing other artists and their reputations or whatever you want to call it, a whole lot of fun happens. You know? Like this guy that I'll be playing with in Perth, Elias Bartholomew, next month. He's being touted as the best guitarist in Australia, trained by Tommy Emmanuel. I'm wearing his shirt today. I told him I'd mention that I'm wearing an Elias shirt today.
I appreciate it.
And I get to play with him. He's done a guest spot on my album, and that's all because we met at the back of stage at a festival a few years ago, and we kept meeting at the festival, and then we met up in Tamworth, and the next thing I'm going, hey, do you want to be on my album? And we've toured together, we've done all sorts of stuff, and it all came from just reaching out and going, hey man, we could do something. And we're at opposite ends of the scale. Like I can't play guitar anything like this guy, but when we get together, we do some cool stuff.
Yeah,
And he's envious of me, which I don't understand.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
that's a real feather in the cap. That.
Yeah.
Now you've got a new album coming out.
Yep.
Northern Stars.
Northern Stars.
This little doobalaki right here.
Yeah, the old-fashioned CD.
Yeah. And it's funny, because I grew up on like cassette tapes and stuff like that, right? That's my era, and vinyl and stuff. So the fact that we're calling CDs like old school is just like mind-blowing for me.
Yeah.
But now, did I hear that you're not releasing this digitally, at least to begin with?
No, we're not.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, and that's not by my design. That's my PR manager, Stuart Coop in Sydney. He just put the brakes on because I would have released it like the week after I got it.
Yeah.
But he was like, no, we're going to release singles, because there's a lot of good singles on there.
Yeah.
And he said, we're going to do that and then we'll let it go. And you might pick up some physical sales. And I always say to people, if you buy one of those, and even if I, like at the moment, like we're chasing $20 for one.
Yeah.
But if I sold it for $10, I'm actually still making more out of that sale than I will from Spotify for the rest of my living days off one sale.
Yeah.
So, I've had a check from Spotify for 4 cents after they converted it back to you from US dollars.
Yeah.
And people just a lot of people don't realise that.
Yeah.
And I'm not bagging Spotify. It's the machine and it is what it is. So we make those.
Yeah.
They make great coasters. They're good in fruit trees to keep the birds out. All that sort of thing.
No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. You're going to play a track for us?
I am going to play a track for you.
What song are we going to play?
I'm going to play this. It's a song called Strike a Match.
Cool.
It's my story, basically. My wife and I right now, in this portion of our life, it's our story. It's me quitting my job with a big company and I live at the beach and we've got a bunch of grandkids. It's all in there,
Yeah.
And it's just our story. It's pretty catchy. We're going to let it go. It comes out on the 10th of this month.
Cool.
To the digital world and all that sort of thing. And let's just see where, it's musically, it's great. It's got this beautiful fiddle intro and this like quiet sort of intro that breaks into this like this tune, And it's just it's my absolute 100% my story right now.
Yeah, great.
And I love playing it and singing it, and people are going nuts over it that have heard it in the camp. So
yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Ray, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for being part of this. It's been great to meet and to chat and to hear your stories and hear more about your experiences. I can't wait to sort of see how the rest of the year pans out for you, Ray. Thank you so much for coming up.
Thanks, Michael. Strike a match in the morning, just just to watch it burn. Stoke the fires in the evening when the sun makes its left turn. I always dreamed we would make it in a little house by the sea. A couple kids and a dog, 7 grandkids, now we got a homemade family, yeah. I used to work in a factory, it was for the man. Didn't like what I had to say, so I had to make my stand. These days I'm out on the road, singing songs for you. A couple guitars, a car, and 1,000 miles, yeah, this'll see me through. Yeah, sail me away when the tide begins to turn. Ah, something gonna catch when you strike a match, just to watch it burn. I got a woman and she's good to me, always by my side. 30 years gone by now and we still seem to get it right. Wanna give her all her heart desires, give her all that she deserves. And so I love her till the day that my heart gives out, but pray that I go first. Yeah, sail me away when the tide begins to turn. Ah, something gonna catch when you strike a match, just to watch it burn. So you can tell me that I'm crazy, I don't hear your words. Got everything that a man could want, and I put my family first. So strike a match in the morning, just to watch it burn. Stoke the fires in the evening when the sun makes its left turn. Get everything that a man could want, I got all that I deserve. Yes, something gonna catch when you strike a match, just to watch it burn. Yes, sail me away when the tide begins to turn. Ah, something gonna catch when you strike a match, just to watch it burn. Well, something gonna catch when you strike a match, just to watch it burn.